Hello and welcome to, I believe this will be video 3, talking about customer service. And today I will be telling you about a bad customer or patient experience that I've had, as long as a good one that I've had. And starting with a bad one, which I've had obviously a few. This one was during my ride time to become a EMT, going through EKU, and I was riding in the back with Marissa Newby, the paramedic that was with me, and we got a call to a domestic female on the ground. Boyfriend had fled the scene, so we get there, and the Richmond PD had gotten there before we had, and had taken her inside and made entry, and it was very apparent very quickly that the woman was extremely intoxicated. So she had a pretty large gash in the back of her head from where the male had slammed her on the ground in the driveway outside. And we started assessing that wound, trying to get it cleaned up, get some gauze over it. And we needed to take her to the hospital to be assessed, which she made very clear that she had no intention of going anywhere, which, unfortunately for her, being as intoxicated as she was not able to make that decision for herself. And we tried to make it go as smoothly as possible, trying to keep positively enforcing her to make the decision for herself that she wanted to go, and it just seemed to not go that way. And eventually we got her out of the floor into a chair, and once we tried to get her from the chair to the stretcher outside, that's when the problem arose, and that is when me, Marissa, and 2 other police officers had to physically restrain the patient because she started swinging and kicking. And I know Marissa got hit in the face. I know one of the cops got kicked either in the face or the chest. And we got her outside, got her strapped down to the gurney, got her loaded inside the ambulance. And once we got her inside the ambulance, she immediately calmed down, and we were able to loosen the restraints that were on her. We obviously had PD in the back of the ambulance with us, and we transported to the hospital. And all in all, I feel it could have gone better. Obviously, her level of intoxication made decisions hard, and just made the whole situation kind of out of our hands to make it go any better. She was making that decision to make it go worse, but at the same time, we had a lot of EMS personnel inside. We had quite a few police officers inside, which that may have led her to feel kind of trapped, maybe surrounded, a little agitated. So I'm sure there were other ways about going it, but all in all, she did not hurt anyone else, and she was not able to hurt herself. And we got her transported to the hospital, and all in all, it ended well. But that was a energetic call for sure. And let's see, a good call that I've had very many while working at Danville Fire Department. The thing with Danville Fire Department is where we have 2 stations. We have one in downtown, and we have one out on the bypass. EMS only has one station that's out on the bypass. So if that call isn't right there on the bypass, 9 times out of 10, us being the fire department will arrive on scene before EMS does, which makes us the initial response to try to stabilize the patient, try to get as much information as we can. That way, when the ambulance does arrive, we have taken some work off of them and are able to provide them information, more expeditiously. So, I respond more as a firefighter EMT working with the fire department as initially to the scene than as an EMS provider. But we do run medical calls pretty often. We do have discretion. If a 20-year-old has stubbed his toe, we're not going to go. But if this 20-year-old has stubbed his toe and he has difficulty breathing, now we're going to go. So, kind of like that. Let's see, one of the better, customer or patient cares that I've had since I've been in. Well, I think one of the better ones that we've had was also when I was doing my ride time to become an EMT in the back of the ambulance. I don't believe I was riding with Marissa that day, but we got a call for an infant below the age of 1, I believe, maybe around the 6-month range, choking, and over the radio we had been told still responsive. When we got in the ambulance, the prompt that came up on the computer said unresponsive. So that lack of, communication caused us to, obviously have some higher, I know I had much higher anxiety in my chest going to that call. But we got there as fast as we could. Me, still learning, still not even, certified EMT. I'm still in class, sitting in the back of that ambulance, just running through my head. It's like, oh my God, it's an infant. This sucks. And we get there, get through the door, and we're greeted by happy, smiling baby, which immediately just made the whole scene so much better. The whole environment behind the call so much better. Luckily, the father responded appropriately and administered back blows and got it was a quarter that the child had ingested. Was able to get it out, and the baby was breathing fine. We did full assessment of auscultation of the lungs, blood pressure, pulse oximetry, the whole nine. We brought it into the ambulance with the mother, and all in all, to me, that's one that stands out to me. From going from that high anxiety level to going through the door to seeing a happy baby was probably the best experience I've had so far in my EMS career. But I look forward to many more good and better calls. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for listening.